Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we look at the cancel culture we're living through at the moment. We look at an article in the Mail online that tries to excuse disgusting behaviour from a well-educated woman from Harvard that made a violent threat on TikTok saying that if anyone says all lives matter, she will harm them badly.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
The article is titled, Harvard grad blames Trump supporters for being fired from her dream job at Deloitte after posting a TikTok video saying she'd S-word anyone who said all lives matter. The Harvard graduate who went viral for saying she'd S-word anyone who told her all lives matter in a satirical TikTok video has revealed she's been fired from her consulting job at Deloitte, but says she'll continue to advocate for the Black Lives Matter movement. So let's have a quick look at this video, shall we, that she said that she'd S-word.
The next person who has the sheer nerve, the sheer entitled caucasity to say all lives matter, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna stab you. And while you're struggling and bleeding out, I'm gonna show you my paper cut and say, my cut matters too.
Now, as you can see by that was not satirical, was it? That wasn't comedy. That wasn't a joke. That wasn't anything of the sort. That was a threat. Now, she's talking about people on Harvard campus. So other kids, basically. As I said, though, cancel culture. Now, before you gloat, listen to the article and then my opinion. You might shout karma, and I'll be honest, the way the left applaud it when the right is affected is disgusting, but it doesn't mean that we necessarily have to do the same, does it? Cancel culture worries me, on either side. If someone is stupid or starting to have radical political ideology, do you think, just a very simple question, do you think cancelling their ability to talk or work or their ability to live their life stops them radicalising? Or do you think it speeds up the process? I'm just saying. Let's read. Clara Genova, who graduated in May with a degree in government and psychology, tearfully revealed on TikTok that she lost her job at Deloitte, a renowned UK-based accounting firm. Standing up for Black Lives Matter put me in a place online to be seen by millions of people, she said, wiping away tears in a new video, shared Wednesday afternoon. The job that I'd worked really hard to get and meant a lot to me has called me and fired me because of everything, she added. Let's have a look at this video, shall we?
I know this is what Trump supporters wanted, because standing up for Black Lives Matter put me in a place online to be seen by millions of people. The job that I had worked really hard to get and meant a lot to me just called me and fired me because of everything. I don't know if everyone's seen, but it's been circulating a lot. My Black Lives Matter TikToks were picked up by conservatives and spread and shared, and people were demanding that I be fired, which I just got. My job that I worked really hard for.
Absolutely nothing to do with her putting it on TikTok on social media for the world to see, obviously. What she's not getting though is, it wasn't standing up for Black Lives Matter to say that you were going to be violent. That was a threat of violence. It's that that's got you cancelled. It is nothing to do, this is to you, Clara, by the way. It's that that's got you cancelled. I don't care what your justification for that sort of language, it's vile. Do I agree with your cancelling and losing of your job? No, I don't. I think the police should have a word with you about the threat to violence, 100%. But lose your job before court? No, not a chance. I think that's wrong. I think you should be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The job that I'd worked really hard to get and meant a lot to me has called me and fired me because of everything, she added. According to her LinkedIn account, she was an incoming government and public business service analyst. Genova called out Deloitte for firing her, sharing a page from the company's website stating that Deloitte claims to stand against systemic bias, racism and unequal treatment. It's got nothing to do with that though, has it? You threatened, not them, you threatened violence. They have to disassociate themselves from you at that point. This is cancel culture 101. You should know this. It wouldn't surprise me if Clara would be one of the ones that would be championing the right, or should I say Republicans and Trump voters getting cancelled. But when it happens to her, this is the problem with cancel culture. Once they've cancelled everyone that they don't like, they'll start cancelling themselves. Welcome to the real world. She revealed she's received death threats. What, after you issued a death threat? Okay. And violent messages from Trump supporters for her statements. So even after all this, she's still saying, it's not me though, is it? Obviously, it's not me. It's all these horrible racists around me. Me saying that I'm going to stab someone and then stand over their bleeding out body got nothing to do with me being a racist. Nothing whatsoever. Even though I mentioned race. Okay, very simple. Very straight to the point. We know what you are. I know this is what Trump supporters wanted because standing up for Black Lives Matter put me in a place online to be judged by people, Genova said in her TikTok. Hold on a minute. You posted the video to TikTok, but it's Trump supporters that wanted it. This is Harvard. This is a Harvard graduate, everyone. She's been to Harvard and actually graduated. I don't know what she's graduated from, but it's obviously not made her intelligent, has it? I mean, what did she expect? I mean, come on. She's threatening to do violent harm to people and expecting to get away with it. Why? Because it's against the right sort of people? That's not how it works. Harvard have gone right down in the books recently, haven't they, with all of this sort of stuff coming out of there? I'm not going to stop defending Black Lives Matter. You are. If you're going to keep doing violent threats, you will. You can't take away my spirit and my devotion towards human rights, she said. Just not the human rights of anyone that doesn't agree with me 100%. In another video, she said, I'm sorry, Dillette, that you can't see that you were cowardice enough to fight somebody who's going to make an indelible change in the world and is going to have an impact. Not anymore, you're not.
Trump supporters took my job away from me. I've gotten death threats, rape threats, violent threats.
I 100% think that is vile as well, if that is the case.
It was okay, but now it doesn't make my future. My future's entirely compromised because Trump supporters have decided to come for my life.
I'm sorry, you were threatening people first.
God, this sucks. You guys suck. I'm too strong for you. I'm too strong for any of you. All lives matter. Racist Trump supporters. It sucks, but it doesn't suck as much as systemic racism.
All lives matter or no life matters, in my opinion.
And I'm not going to stop using my platform to advocate for it. And I'm sorry, Deloitte, that you can't see that. That you are cowardice enough to fight somebody who's going to make an indelible change in the world and is going to have an impact.
There's a name for this. It's called delusions of grandeur. Look it up. Earlier this week, Genova came under fire for a TikTok she posted where she denounced people who use the phrase all lives matter to detract from the suffering of the black community. Genova, who has 113,000 followers, so she has a huge platform, can be heard saying in the clip, the next person who has the sheer nerve, the sheer entitled caucasity, so that's race, to say all lives matter, I'ma stab you. I'm going to stab you, and while you're struggling to bleed out, I'm going to show you my paper cut and say my cut matters too. See what I mean? That's not satirical, is it? That's not satirical at all. All lives matter is a controversial slogan, and as a reason, why is it controversial when Black Lives Matter is fine? Sorry, Black Lives Matter, in my opinion, is more controversial than all lives matter. According to The Nation, powerful protests have emerged in all 50 states decrying systemic racism and police brutality against black people following the killing in Minneapolis on May the 25th. The All Lives Matter phrase has been criticised as erasing the existence of black people. Really? How's it done that? It's 3 words. And dismissing the racism that African Americans and black communities across the world face. While many praised Genova for her stance on racism, she was bombarded with negative comments and threats. She started it. Harvard senior Clara Genova threatens to stab anyone who says all lives matter. Will liberal colleges and universities ever teach students that speech does not equal violence? One person said. Another Twitter user wrote, and that's a negative comment, is it? Wow. So you're allowed to say that you're running around doing people in, but if anyone says that's not what you should be teaching, that's negative comments to this lot. Another Twitter user wrote, is there something in the water that these crazy liberals drink? This Harvard leftist threatened to stab anyone on campus who says all lives matter. Exactly. The police should be seeing her about this, but should she have lost her job before court? I'll leave that question with you guys. What do you think? Do you think she should have been cancelled before she even saw a court? Because I don't. I think this is a really dangerous slope. Still, many defended her, saying her video was satire, really. See, they're allowed to joke about disgusting things, but they'll cancel a comedian for doing the same. Hypocrisy, isn't it, from the left? It's all hypocrisy. We're allowed to judge you, but you must not judge us. Clara? I'm going to call her Clara. Clara is articulate, educated and brave. It's obvious that the Republicans are threatened. Really? Your critical thinking... I'm sorry, that's not critical thinking. When it's all one-sided, it's not critical anything, and I definitely object to the word thinking. Oh, scares them, love. We are with you. One supporter wrote, Harvard University has taken a stance against racism and police brutality in the wake of that fella's death. Now, at this point, I'd like to say everybody has, and it's going to come back and bite them big time. Now, I'm not on about the stance against racism, but I am on about bending the knee to a Marxist organisation that wants to destroy our cultures. I really am. In a statement published online, the university said, we are outraged by the countless deaths of black people at the hands of police officers and citizens caused by a system that treats black people as expendable. Wow. Just that comment alone says it all, doesn't it? As many students across the nation and world engage as citizens and leaders in protesting violence against black communities, we affirm their rights and freedoms to peaceful protest. We stand in They're not peacefully protesting though, are they? They're burning cities. We stand in solidarity with these students and support their work to end systemic racism in this country. Students who exercise their rights by peacefully protesting will not have their chance of admission compromised. Point is though, it's not peaceful when she's running around saying she's going to stab people, is it really? Is it really? Harvard, you should be held to account for those comments. I'm sorry, but this is disgusting what she's done. I still hold firm though, even though I think it's disgusting, everyone. I don't think she should be cancelled. I really disagree with the cancel culture. I really think it's going to radicalize everybody it touches, and not just everybody, but everyone that cares for that person as well. This could be like a radicalized Chinese whisper that just spreads. You understand what I mean by that? Cancel culture is cancer. It needs to stop. It needs to stop now, and we need to go back to trusting the rule of law again. But what say you? I'd like to know your opinion. Let me know what you think. I mean, do you think she deserved what she got? I really don't. I think she should be afforded a day in court at the very least for a death threat. I really do think that she needs to get a day in court. Whether after that point she gets found guilty and then loses her job, well within the company's rights at that point, isn't it? I think it's a little bit dangerous to be allowing companies to sack people with just hearsay as proof. This girl obviously is not. It's not just hearsay, is it? She chose to post it on social media where everybody could see it, and especially 113,000 TikTok followers. So she's done it to a big audience as well. But cancel culture will come back and bite everybody if we allow it to continue, and I really do feel disgusted by it every time I see it. But anyway, thanks everyone that stayed to the end of the video. I know it was a bit of a long one, this. I appreciate your support. Don't forget to share, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.